Today I am going to cover latte versus cappuccino. Stay tuned until the end of this video clip and click that subscribe button. The focus of today's video clip is on differentiating latte versus cappuccino in iced version. If you haven't yet seen my video tutorial on comparing macchiato versus flat white versus latte and cappuccino in the hot version, do check out the video link above. I am going to talk a little bit about making hot cappuccino versus hot latte. There are three main differences here. Number one is in the size of the cup. When you make a cappuccino, typically it is in a smaller cup than a latte. Second is in the texture of the milk. When you texture the milk for a latte, you normally just aim for a microfoam. But when you texture the milk for a cappuccino, you are aiming for a thicker milk foam. So the way that you steam the milk will be different for each one of them. The third difference is in the use of the number of shots that you use for each of these two. Some use a single shot, others use double shot, but mostly they will be using the same amount of espresso for two different cup sizes. In terms of taste, the cappuccino will taste stronger because you are using less milk, because most of it will be milk foam, and with the latte is smoother and is also a lot more balanced between the milk and the espresso shots. In summary, cappuccino is typically favored by those that want their coffee stronger and they like the thick, creamy mouthfeel of the milk. Latte is for those that prefer the coffee to be less strong, hence more milk and less creamy. Let's look at iced cappuccino and iced latte. I'm going to show you two different cup sizes. One is in 16 ounces glass here, and the other is in 22 ounces cups. For the ingredients for latte and cappuccino, we are going to use my house blend here, which is 100% Arabica single origin from Arabia Coffee in Chiang Rai. And for the milk, the secret to iced drinks would be in the use of milk. And many of you would have already seen that I use three different types of milk for my milky coffee drinks. So I use sweetened condensed milk, I use evaporated milk, and fresh milk. So these are the ones that make a difference in the taste of your iced latte and iced cappuccino. I am going to use a milk syrup, which is a combination of condensed milk and evaporated milk, and I'm going to use the proportion, which is 2:1. 100 ml of my sweetened condensed milk, and I'm going to mix it with 50 ml of my evaporated milk. Make sure they're well combined. Now, the reason why I mix this in advance, especially if you have a lot of customers, is that it is easier for you to pour it once instead of pouring condensed milk and then evaporated milk. And also, it is not so thick, so you can refrigerate this and you don't have to wait until the condensed milk is less thick before you can pour it. There are different permutations. You can make them less sweet, you can do 50-50, or you can even make more evaporated milk than condensed milk. You can check out the link above for many different permutations for your milk syrup. For my milk, I'm going to use fresh milk here. This is dairy. You can replace this with any milk of your choice. So I am going to start by making my iced latte and iced cappuccino using 16 ounces cup. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different proportion of the espresso shots. I'm going to use a dose of 20 grams, and for my latte I'm going to pull 2 ounces or 60 grams, and for my cappuccino I'd like it to be stronger, so I'm going to pull a long shot. It's going to be 90 grams. So this is how I differentiate my iced latte versus cappuccino, the amount of coffee you put in each of the glass. That is number one. The second one is the amount of milk. And the third is the presentation. For my latte, I use 60 ml of milk. And then to this, I'm going to add the same amount of my milk syrup, 60 ml. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my cup with ice. And then you pour the milk into your glass. Stir. I have here my double shot of espresso, and we're going to pour it on top. And this is how I present my latte. Now let's make our iced cappuccino in 16 ounces. So for this, I'm going to make milk foam because this is a cappuccino. I'm going to use my electric milk frother here, which is probably the easiest way to make it. So I'm going to fill my steaming pitcher and now my frothing pitcher with cold milk. And if you can, make sure that your pitcher is also cold and your milk should double in size. Okay? So very quickly you get a milk foam. And now let's assemble our drink. Let's assemble our iced cappuccino in 16-ounce cup. Start with ice, add a milk syrup, pour your espresso shots, stir, fill it up with milk foam, and finish it off with sprinkles of cocoa powder on top. Now let's make them in 22 ounces cups, starting with iced latte. For this, I am going to pull a long shot. I'm going to use 20 grams of coffee beans and pull 3 shots of espresso, or 90 grams. Into the serving cup, add milk, milk syrup, stir, fill your cup with ice, pour the espresso shots over, put the lid on, and this is your iced latte in 22-ounce cup. Next, let's make iced cappuccino in 22 ounces cup. This time, I am going to pull a very long shot, 4 shots of espresso from about 20 grams of coffee beans. Yes, 120 grams of espresso. As usual, we need to make our milk foam. Using a handheld electric milk frother, make your milk foam. Fill your frothing pitcher to just below the spout. You need room to froth the milk. Froth until thick and creamy. Now into your espresso shots, add the milk syrup. Mix well. Fill your cup with ice. Pour the cappuccino mix over ice. Fill the cup to the top with milk foam and finish it off with sprinkles of cocoa powder. Put the lid on and you have iced cappuccino in 22-ounce cup. Now you know how to make iced latte versus iced cappuccino in terms of the amount of espresso that you use, the amount of milk that you use, and the presentation. Is now down to the taste. Which one is better? If you look at the color, the latte looks darker than the cappuccino. This one has got 3 shots of espresso, double shot of espresso, more milk, less milk, but it is balanced by the amount of creamy, foamy milk that we put in the cappuccino. Strong coffee, less milk. Less coffee, more milk. And for me, the winner is the latte. Maybe it's just because I like my milk and coffee to be perfectly balanced. With a cappuccino, it's a little bit stronger. Do give these recipes a try at home and let me know how they go for you. In the meantime, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Also check out my books, All Things Milk Tea and The Basic Barista. You are going to learn a lot of things from those books, and if you can also start a business from watching my video tutorials as well as reading my books. And if those are not enough, you can also come to Bangkok for my workshops. That's all I would like to share with you today. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.